Hey guys, it's Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another journal flip through and wrap up for February. I'm not going to be making a haul video for February because I only bought 4 books. So I will be showing you that today along with my TBR balance sheet and my stats for February. So first we're going to be starting with my February stats. As you can see, I have started 7 books that month and finished. I did not DNF any books. I only read 1 hardcover this past month, over 6 paperbacks. I read 2,252 pages and read 28 hours, almost 29. So this month, as you can see, I read a whole bunch more, both in pages and in hours. So the books I read were longer than the ones that I read last month. So let's get into the books I purchased. The first book I purchased was Three Dark Crowns by Kendra Blake. I know this is our new release and a lot of people have been talking about this recently. It sounded interesting to me because, 3 sisters have to battle for the crown the moment their 16th birthday starts. And not only does it sound action-packed, but it also sounds like it has some political stuff in there as well. And I'm super excited to read this, but this will be backlisted for me, so I will probably be reading this when no one cares about this book anymore. The second book I got was Matilda by Mary Shelley. Everybody knows Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, but I wanted to read more of her works. I bought this off of Amazon, and this book is about incest. I think a girl, it's kind of like a Electra sort of thing where a girl has a thing for her father. So that's what this book is about. The third book I got was The Bell Jar. I'm not entirely sure what this book is about. Even the synopsis sounds vague. But I remember reading like a summary somewhere else, and it sounded really good. And this book was only like, $6 I think, or $3 when I bought it? Yeah, it was only $6. So I figured I'd go ahead and purchase it. The last book I got was The Reader by Bernard. Cannot pronounce that last name, so I'm not going to. This book takes place after World War II, I believe. It's about a young man who falls in love with a woman that's like twice his age, and that's what this book is about. So I'm also looking forward to this, and look, it's a book on a book. How nice. Moving on to my TBR balance sheet. So I bought 4 books this month, and then I read 7, so that's -3. And finally, I am under my starting TBR for this year, but only 1 under. So I already bought a book here in March, so my goal is not to buy any more books and just continue reading. I want to at least get to 141 this month. Read 5 books, get them out of the way. We'll see how that goes. Let's go to February. So here is my cover photo and my reading log. As you can see, I read pretty much, I read every day, and I started a Phantom of the Opera at the beginning, or at the end of February. I don't have it actually here on my February flip through. I have it in my March, simply because I read it more of the book in March than I did in February. And as always, do not read my notes if you do not want to be spoiled. So the first book I read was Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I do not have a picture of it, so here is the book right here. I'll leave that there. This book is pretty much a retelling story of Alice in Wonderland, but more so of an origin story for the Queen of Hearts and how she came to be who she is, that we all know and love. Overall, I really liked this book. I gave it 4.5 stars here, and I did enjoy the story. However, some of the things that Catherine does in this book really pisses me off. Without giving any spoilers, I wouldn't have continued to trust Just after he told me what he told me. And I definitely wouldn't have gone back for Marianne after she told my secrets to my parents. So if I was a main character, I would have never become the Queen of Hearts. But obviously, it doesn't have a very good ending. Something bad has to happen, you know, for Catherine to become the Queen of Hearts. She didn't just become an evil bitch for no reason. But overall, I did enjoy the story. There were a couple things that bothered me, like Catherine's choices, and also I got really irritated because the writer kept using the same words to describe Jest every time. And if you like retellings or origin stories, I would suggest reading this. So then I continued my series of, I believe this is the second book in the House of Night series. This one was slightly better than the first one. And this is the book where Zoe sleeps or is dating 3 people, which really irritates me considering she calls a whole lot of people a hoe in the first book. I find that Zoe has absolutely no self-control. And Zoe as a person in this book is extremely unlikable. And I just could not stand her. Like, I'm sitting there yelling at the book thinking, like, what are you doing? Come on. Don't you have a conscience? Like, you can't just be like, oh, I feel bad for doing XYZ, and then turn around and do it again. No, you don't feel bad if you repeatedly keep doing the same shit over and over again. So I only gave it 2.5 stars. Then I read To Seek a Master by Monica Bell. It is an erotica. I found it quite good. The only reason why I gave it 4 stars instead of 5 is because I felt like this book ended the same way as the last book I read by her, which was Black Lipstick Kisses, and it was kind of irritating that this book didn't have a different ending. So, then I read Relentless by Dean Koontz, and I was extremely disappointed with this book. The book was set up so well. Basically, Cubby, the main character, writes a book, he gets a bad review, and now the guy who gave him the bad review, for whatever reason, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, is trying to kill him. And it's basically a suspense thriller type book. And then at the end of the book, he changes the physics of the world, and the ending was just so disappointing, and I felt like he took the easy way out to end this book. When I was reading it, I was enjoying it so much, but as soon as I got to the end, I was angry. This is probably one of my least favorite Dean Koontz books that I have read before. Alright, then I read Catcher in the Rye, a classic, of course. I've never read it before. It is a coming-of-age story of a young teenage boy. I only gave it 3 stars. I'm not really going to go into it. Most people know what this book is about. I appreciated what the story was about, but I found it particularly difficult to read because the story goes next to nowhere. It's just him roaming around like a couple of nights in the city and him having his own personal struggles, and it just wasn't a very dynamic book for me. I appreciate what the story's about, but I did not actually enjoy reading it, so I gave it a neutral rating, which is 3 stars. And then I continued on to the 4th book, chosen in the House of Night series. I really don't know what to say about this book without giving away spoilers. I really don't. The only commentary I can say about this is I don't understand why Zoe didn't get one of her feelings about Lauren, and seeing him. She gets these sort of feelings about Netafrit, and she should have known better, I think, if she has these feelings. I think she could have been smarter about what everything was going on. But that's all I can really say without spoiling anything in this book. But I gave it 3 stars, a neutral rating. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. I was happy that finally Zoe kind of got what she deserved. She doesn't necessarily learn from any of it in this book. I believe it's not until Untamed where she finally learns her lesson. Then I started Phantom of the Opera, but that's not going to appear in any of my videos until I do March's wrap up, because I mostly read it in March than February. that's all I got for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye!